Welcome to Brain Friends, where two neuro nerds talk all things aphasia, language recovery, culture, and community. I am Dr. Davetrina Seles Gadson, a clinical speech-language pathologist and neuroscientist.
And I am Angie Cawthorn, stroke survivor and aphasia advocate.
Welcome to our show.
Welcome to Brain Friends.
We want to thank all of our listeners for downloading the podcast. We appreciate everyone listening, so please tell a friend to tell a friend that we are here.
And we are.
Hey, Brain Friends, listen in to a behind-the-scenes conversation between Angie and I on anomia. Anomia is difficulty in word finding, specifically the inability to retrieve nouns, verbs, or even recognize written and spoken names of objects. And this is just kind of my thing. I think that people get so bogged down in trying to tease apart every single piece of aphasia. Like for me, even if there are 3 categories of anomia, for me as a clinician sometimes, I think more so it doesn't matter what category of anomia they're in. The point is that they're having significant word finding difficulty, and that's called anomia.
Right. Rather than getting lost in the weeds, you're dealing with the total problem.
Right. Because we already think about all of the different classifications of aphasia that we have back on our aphasia types episode, where you have all the different, Wernicke's, Broca's, anomia, global, transcortical motor. So you already have...
And progressive,
exactly. So you already have aphasia broken down into those categories. And then now you're like, well, let's tease apart anomia. What are
right.
It's like...
Is that even necessary?
Okay. I mean, no, it is. It could. I mean, it's probably some good information in there.
I feel like I have aphasia. And granted, I heard anomia or anomic at some point later in my journey. Mm-hmm. But it's like, no, you have aphasia, period. Mm-hmm. And the lady even told me when I said, well, why didn't anybody tell me that? And she says, well, because actually the field as a whole is getting away from all of the teasing out and because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You have aphasia, you have a communication disorder, you have a neurological disorder caused by stroke. Everything else after that is in the weeds.
Yeah. Yeah, that part I agree with. And I also think what happens sometimes with people who have anomia, which is what I would classify you as, mm-hmm. because your speech is very fluent, you're able to repeat, your auditory comprehension as well. So it would be like, okay, you have anomia. Sometimes it can be, and I'll just say maybe even practitioner, researcher, whatever, a little insensitive, because anomia is the best aphasia to have out of all of them.
Hey, listen, to God be the glory. To God be the glory, because I didn't start out with anomia, or maybe right. I did, you know what I mean? But it was definitely more severe. And I am exceedingly grateful that I have the lowest form. And that also gives me the opportunity to speak for my fellow aphasians that are Wernicke's, Wernicke's or Broca's and the others. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, let's get into it. What are we talking about today? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to start with, hey, Angie.
I know, right? We just jumped right on up in here. We just jumped up in here. And, I'm keeping that. That was good stuff.
I think so, too. I like those spontaneous moments, especially just really breaking that down, with the anomia piece, that it's still aphasia. And I would say one of the lessons that I also have to be very sensitive about is not discounting those individuals as like, well, you're better than the Wernicke's. But it's like... either way, you're still having word finding difficulty. It's still, even though it is the highest or the highest or better form of aphasia is to be anomic.
Right. It's definitely the desired form. If you have to have it, this is what you want to rock with. But it's still aphasia. And it's still the same thing. So no, I understand that. But it's
and sometimes you might not even qualify for therapy. If your anomia is so good, then you might not even qualify. And that's what makes it challenging sometimes, because as speech language pathologists, you use these hallmark assessments. And if you score a certain number on this assessment, that puts you in a higher anomia category, then sometimes it could be hard to justify to insurance companies why you still need therapy.
Right. So if you do great on the WOB or this other standardized testing that they have, a person like myself that's mild, it puts me in a different category to show I have aphasia. And I told the doctor, they were assessing me and like kind of questioning if I had aphasia. And my response to them was, I never said I did, nor did I say I had a stroke. I can't diagnose myself with these things. You diagnose me. Now I have to prove I have it. What kind of deal is that?
Exactly. And the insensitivity that comes, because I had a patient one time that, they had did well and we were ready to discharge them, but they still had some of their trouble. And they were looking at, which makes sense, their baseline, where I'm looking at my standardized baseline. And I really had to, together we had to work, and I had to say, okay, well, I need to see some deficit somewhere, whether it's a situation that I need to put you in. So then I can speak to, let's put her in a crowded room, and then I'll really see her aphasia.
Right. Let's order that cup of coffee. I remember you spoke of that client that you had just wanted to order a cup of coffee or order their own food. Those type of, and if you ask me, a certain level of assessment, I did a test for one of the universities and they asked me these questions, and I told the researcher, if you ask my husband, he's going to give you a whole nother set of answers. Just know that, because he sees me in the raw.
Exactly.
He sees me and the more comfortable I am with you, the less my verbiage is good.
Yeah.
Or if I get excited, you know what I mean? It's either or, but I am not complaining.
Yeah.
Shout out to Anomia.
Shout out to Anomia. And speaking of the person that you mentioned, I see you're repping your Brain Friend shirt. Right. Merch coming. I'm actually representing Live with Purpose, which is the shirt that Tajay, it's by Taj Tees. She started after, we did all of our therapy. She got back into her life, and she now has a t-shirt brand. So I have this one from her, which is Live with Purpose. And then she has another saying, which is Women Get It Done.
Okay, then. Come on.
Yeah.
And what is her name? Let's give her a quick shout out.
Tajay.
Hey, Tajay. So she was a stroke survivor as well?
Well, she had...
I don't want to put everybody's business in.
Right. Nope, this isn't. We're not going against HIPAA. This is actually... We've done a segment on this through the American Speech Hearing Association. She actually had a brain tumor that left her with aphasia. Wow. And I apologize. She had a brain tumor that she didn't have aphasia, but she did have what we would call cognitive communication difficulties, which is like,
what that mean, Doc?
So basically, when we think about aphasia happens because of damage to the left hemisphere of the brain.
Right.
So if that damage doesn't occur on the left hemisphere, you can still in the left hemisphere, it's on the right, or maybe in a different part of the brain, you can still have difficulty communicating or finding words, but because it's not that language center, we'll call it cognitive communication, because, it's harder to determine, are you having trouble getting your words out and communicating because of something from a planning perspective, executive planning, just trying to understand where you put your words, versus with people with aphasia, they know the words they want to say. It's more of a production, not planning.
Right. There was a time where my jaws and my mouth wouldn't do what I needed to do. And like I would try to say a word and my lip still kind of does it. I noticed it since we started taping the podcast. When I watch myself speak, I can see the difficulty I'm having. You don't hear it, but I can see it because I know that's not the way my mouth usually moves. But it's small. And again, shout out to Anomia. That's gonna be my shirt. Shout out to Anomia.
Okay.
Come on, because listen, them other ones are a whole problem, a whole entire problem. So that was really good. Nice little opening there. I like it. So listen, I'm sorry. What did you just show me?
That I just started our time.
You just started it.
Yeah, because that wasn't
okay.
I had just started recording because I knew we were going to talk about something good, but I knew it was. So then we have that, and you can do however you want. But I just started.
Shoot, that's an episode, girl. I don't know why you tripping. Come on, episode. Come on, Clips.
That is an episode,
and I love that free back and forth. I love that. So, listen. But listen, it is, I think we're out of time.
We're out of time. This was so good. Thank you. I always enjoy talking with you, Angie. You're the best brain friend ever.
Brain friends. Listen, this merch is on the way, guys. Get this merch. We're gonna be doing some other things. We're gonna keep you guys posted. But we thank you for rocking with us. We have a YouTube channel, Brain Friends, the podcast.
Ow.
Okay. No, if you buck, all right?
No.
No.
Bye.
Peace, y'all.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Brain Friends. Please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite streaming platform. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Brain Friends, the podcast. I'm so extra.